This video is brought to you by Moft. Here are 10 reasons why I think you should try an iPad. So I've been using my iPad Air 5 every day and really enjoy it. And while some people use it to replace their main computer, I actually use it as a standalone device alongside my 14-inch MacBook Pro as well as my iPhone 13. And here's why I think you should try one too. The vast majority of these features and use cases that we'll be looking at today apply to all current iPad models. And as always, I will leave all the purchase links down in the description. Alright, so the first use case is photo editing. More specifically, editing photos in Lightroom with the Apple Pencil. Now, all of the thumbnails that you guys see on my videos on YouTube are entirely edited on the iPad. I just find using the fine tip of an Apple Pencil to be more accurate as well as just more natural compared to using a trackpad or a mouse, allowing you to super easily draw out and select a very specific part of the photo. Let's say here, I'll just quickly select the keyboard of the laptop, and then I can go into the parameters and adjust where I need to bring out the colors or bring out detail in the image like so. Again, it's just more natural and really allows you to interact directly with the pixels and the screen rather than using a keyboard, mouse, or a trackpad. I think this use case actually pairs perfectly with the Snap case from Moft, which will have a dedicated spot to store your Apple Pencil. You can see I can just drop it right in and it will magnetically fall into place and continue to charge as normal. But one of the things I really like about having this dedicated space here is that your Apple Pencil will stay put. You guys probably know that the Apple Pencil, while it does attach magnetically to the iPad, as soon as you throw it in a bag or something, it will quickly get knocked off and disconnect and not continue to charge, or you have to end up looking for it in your bag. This way, drop it into place, it will automatically align and will stay where it is. Now, this case will integrate with all of Moft's magnetic accessories, which we'll look at more in a sec. One of the cool things about this case in particular is that it actually has a pass-through connector for the smart connector on the iPad, which means it is fully compatible with Apple's Magic Keyboard accessories. The next use case is note-taking. Now, whether you handwrite or like to type your notes like I do, the iPad's small form factor makes it ideal for this use case, taking up less space on your table as well as in your backpack. Now, there are many great apps that you can use to take notes on your iPad. Personally, I like to use Pages because it will sync with iCloud and therefore automatically update and store to all of my other devices, such as my MacBook and my iPhone. One of the features that I really like about the iPad that you will also find on the iPhone is the ability to copy and paste text right from an image. So let's say you are a university student listening to a lecture and there's a slideshow on the screen, or perhaps meeting notes if you're in a boardroom. Simply take a picture with the iPad, then use your finger to highlight, select, and copy the text, and then paste it right into your notes. And again, while I prefer to type my notes, if you'd like to, of course, handwrite using the Apple Pencil and the iPad, it really doesn't get better than that, as of course you'll have unlimited paper and all of that added functionality of having an iPad and being able to bring in other media and instantly share your notes to your other devices. On the topic of the small form factor of the iPad, when I'm taking notes on my iPad, I really like to use Moft Snap Stand. This will allow you to simply prop up your iPad in multiple positions, both in portrait mode as well as in landscape mode. As you can see, this origami style shapes on the back here allow me to quickly adjust and reposition the iPad on the fly. So the Snap Stand can be applied directly to the Snap case that we looked at earlier, but you can also apply it to the iPad. And to do this, you'll just have to attach one of the magnetic pads to the back of your iPad, and this will allow you to use all of Moft's accessories right on the iPad. The next use case is multitasking. Now, over the years, the iPad has become more and more capable of this and can now finally run two instances of the same app or two different apps at once. As you can see here, I have a Safari window open on the right, and then let's say a blank Pages document open on the left to take notes while I browse the web. Now, multitasking is going to be taken even further in the upcoming iOS 16 Stage Manager mode. And this is made even easier with the Snap Float Stand. As you can see, this will angle your iPad upright, almost looking like a miniature iMac. I really like this design and this look, having this on the table. One of the cool things too is you have a lot of flexibility, so you can angle the iPad down. So let's say if you want more of an easel type of stand like this, This is perfect for drawing, having it angled at a more steep angle. And then of course, again, you can bring it up and have it almost like a miniature iMac. And just like with all of Moft's accessories, simply pull it off to detach the iPad, and then you can say quickly transfer it over to say a different accessory. So here is the snap stand that we looked at earlier. Simply drop it on, and just like so, your iPad is moved. Now, one of the nice things I also like about the float stand is that it is really portable, so you can fold it down, and it's a really sturdy stand, and you can easily bring it with you on the go. And up next is universal control. Now, universal control allows you to use your Mac's trackpad, keyboard, or even your external mouse to operate the iPad. Now, to set this up, all you need to do is have your MacBook or even your iMac on a desk. Simply place your iPad right next to it, and then it will automatically detect that it is near your MacBook or your iMac, and then this will automatically allow you to literally swipe the cursor off your Mac's display onto the iPad. Now, this is particularly useful if, say, you are working at your desk and you're typing on your MacBook or using the trackpad or mouse, and you want to adjust something on the iPad. So without having to lean forward to touch the display, just use your mouse, much easier. And then the next use case takes this idea even further, and that is using your iPad as a proper external monitor with SIDECAR. Now, SIDECAR is a free and wireless way to turn your iPad into a proper secondary display, allowing you to click and drag and move windows from your Mac right over to your iPad. This is something that I use almost every day, and my iPad actually serves most of the time as a secondary screen for my MacBook while I'm using it. So let's say I'll be editing a video on my MacBook in which I have Final Cut Pro running in full screen, but while things render or while I'm importing, I like to have a video or something to watch in the background. And instead of having to switch up the windows on my MacBook, I can just move over to my iPad where I have Netflix open ready to play. And then up next is content watching. Now, of course, consuming content on an iPad is great. Not only is it super light in the hand and easy to hold, the display is big. It also has relatively thin bezels, which don't really obstruct your content and also give you an area to easily grip the iPad. The display is also super bright, so can be used outdoors with ease. And again, colors on this display are really good. Whenever I am traveling or on the go, the iPad has become my go-to device to quickly pull up a show or a movie that I want to watch. But even at home, if say I am chilling on the couch or laying in bed and quickly want to watch something, the iPad is just such a great device for this use case. And made even better with the snap case here, simply fold it out, and as you can see, we can then easily prop the iPad up in landscape mode to watch your content. Now, I love how this doesn't make the iPad any bigger and will still easily fit on even a small table like what you get in an airplane. So a lot of the use cases that we've talked about so far will take up quite a bit of battery. Thankfully, battery life is one of the major strengths of the iPad, and it's actually hard to kill the battery in one day. I found myself easily being able to get 10 hours of screen on time with brightness usually set to max. So this means it will more than easily last a full day, and for me typically lasts 2 or almost even 3 days between charges. And one of the extra cool things about the iPad is if, say, you are traveling, you can actually use it as a big battery bank to charge your iPhone. Granted, it's a little expensive to be a battery bank, but it is still a nice feature to have. I usually charge my iPad next to my bed, which is where I have a wall stand set up where I can not only rest my iPad without it taking up space at night, but I also have one set up in my kitchen, making it easy to mount my iPad upright to easily follow a recipe or simply watch a show whilst I'm cooking. Earlier in the video, I said that I don't use my iPad to replace my computer, and this is true. However, if say I'm going on a short trip for a long weekend or even around a week or so, I'll oftentimes just bring my iPad, and in that instance, it will act as my main computer. I find for most of my productivity tasks, such as taking meetings, calls, writing notes, researching documents, are all incredibly easy to do on the iPad, especially with the Apple Pencil. Let's say for that photo editing that we talked about, it is just a really great device that is so light and much easier to to take with you on the go compared to a laptop, which will always be heavier and more bulky. One thing that I can't do on the iPad is editing video. This is something that I would love to see brought to the iPad. I would love to see Apple come up with a mobile version of Final Cut Pro. And this brings us to making and taking video calls. Now, over the past years, we've all had to rely much more on making calls to stay in touch with loved ones, and the big screen on the iPad makes it super great for this use case. Not to mention the fact that it is so light and versatile. You can easily move it around the room with you. So if, say, you are multitasking, you can simply place the iPad in a corner somewhere, have it film you while you are chatting. And one of the cool features of the iPad as well is that the FaceTime camera inside will actually track and move with you as you move in or out of the frame. And if, say, a second person comes into frame, it will then automatically zoom out to bring them both in shot. And again, here too is where I love to use the tablet stand, where I can simply prop up the iPad, set it up in multiple positions, have center stage follow me as I move across the room. Let's say I am multitasking, either I'm on a call while I'm filming some B-roll or, say, cleaning the kitchen or something. I can make sure that center stage keeps me in frame while the snap stand keeps my iPad in the right position. And then lastly is reading. Now, reading on the iPad is really great. Not only is the display bright enough to even see outdoors in the sunlight, it is also super comfortable to look at late at night as it uses True Tone, which will automatically adjust the temperature of the display dependent on your surroundings. And then using night mode at night will actually remove or limit the amount of blue light, causing less strain on your eyes. And again, this is where the lightweight design of the iPad comes in, making it super easy to hold for many hours at a time. Now, I especially like to use this with the snap case because of this really nice vegan leather texture that it has on the back, which I not only think looks good, it also adds a little bit of grip. Now, I think this has happened to all of us where, say, you are laying on your back in bed and you're reading from your iPad or, say, your iPhone, and it slips out of your hand and falls on your face. Now, this is something that of course has never happened to me, but if, say, that were to happen, the chance would be much less likely if you have the grip of the Snap Moft case. Alright guys, there it is. Those are my top 10 favorite use cases for the iPad and why I think if you haven't already, you should add an iPad to your life. And if you do, there are no better accessories to complement your iPad than the ones from Moft. They add functionality to your iPad and make an already great product even better. If you want to learn more, be sure to click the links in the description. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't seen them yet, I highly recommend watching my iPad Air 5 review, as well as my M1 Pro MacBook Pro long-term review. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.